Hi Stampers, this is Trevis. Today is Video Friday. And so today for our video, I'm going to introduce you to a brand new bundle that's available. It's available to you on November the 1st, and it's called Fitting Florets. And the bundle is so beautiful. And I could get it now. I could get it in October as a pre-order. So, but it will be available in the next mini catalog also. So it's an early release now, and it's good until June, like the 1st of June. So here is the collection. Well, actually, I'll just show you the stamp set and the dies since I have them. This is the Framed Florets. Okay, so this is a photopolymer set, and it is, it's not Christmassy. You could make it Christmassy, right? Because it's got the possibility of coloring things. It's 13 stamps and lots of awesome sentiments. And then the dies that coordinate are called Framed Florets, and these are some of my favorite dies because there are ovals, and I'm going to be using one of the ovals today. I'm also going to be cutting out one of the flowers today. I'm going to be using one of the sayings, the sentiments. It's called Celebrate. And so the dies, there are 13 dies. And so on November 1st, it's available to you as a bundle for $54. That's a 10% discount. Buying it as a bundle. There's also designer series paper. I do have the paper. What did I do with the paper? Well, anyway, there's this darling paper. Okay, I'm not going to use the paper today. Yes, I'm hoarding it. There's also embellishments. They're called gold swirls. There's, what else? I guess that's it. There's 4 things. The framed and festive stamp set, the dies, the gold swirls, and the designer series paper. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to make a card today. I'm going to use my mini cut and emboss. The Pee-wee is here by me. I'm going to be using some of my blend markers. I'm going to be doing a whole bunch of different things here. So merging a lot of things together. I'm going to be using Plentiful Plants. Just saying. Because that is, I need the pot from that, a flower pot from that. So let's get started. I'm going to stop talking and I'm going to start stamping. Okay, so the stamps I'm going to use this one, and it's the flowers. Okay, so I'm going to stamp this in Memento ink because I'm going to use my blend markers. I'm going to stamp this on thick white cardstock, which I like to do when I'm using my blends. I love it. Isn't that gorgeous? See how pretty that is? Okay, so we have that. I'm also going to go ahead while I'm stamping. I'm going to stamp the sentiment. And the sentiment I'm going to use is Celebrate. And so stamp that also in black Memento on a little piece of white cardstock. I love the photopolymer stamp, so that's a little bit thick. I don't know, maybe that's how it's supposed to look. Let's try it again. Yeah, I like that one better. I love the photopolymer stamps because you can see exactly what you're stamping, right? Okay, I'm also, as I said, I'm going to use the Plentiful Plants, and I'm going to use this pot right here. And I'm going to stamp that in, I think I'm going to stamp that in Crumb Cake. Okay, so I'm going to adhere that to my block. I'm trying to decide, do I want to stamp that in Crumb Cake? Yeah, I think so. I'm going to stamp that in Crumb Cake. Okay, so now I have my 3 images already stamped. Okay, there's a die to cut that out, but guess what? It's just as easy for me to do it by hand. The other one I am going to use the die because it's a little more intricate, but this one's super simple, so I'm just going to cut it out by hand. I don't know why I do that sometimes, I just do. Okay, so I have that. I'm going to cut out my Celebrate. I'm going to do a little fishtail on that. Okay. Trash. think I'm done. Now, what I want to do now is I do want to go ahead and color in my flower. And I'm going to be using some different blends. I'm actually going to be using light polished pink. So you don't always have to use just one set. Okay, so this is Melon Mambo, light and dark. But you can also pull in another, even lighter color, right, from another color. You don't have to just use the set. Does that make sense? I think it does. Okay, hope it does. So what I'm going to do now is, if I can get the lid off, I'm going to just color the center of the flowers. Okay, and then I'm going to pull a little of the color into the flower. Polished pink is just such a pretty color. It's such a, I don't know, it's not a baby pink, but it is just a really pretty color. Okay. And then I'm going to pull in some darker color. Now this is the light Melon Mambo. So I'm just not going to color over that light that I did. I'm just going to color the areas that are not yet colored in. Okay. So, do you have anything planned for Halloween? I am, I think that's supposed to be colored in, yeah. I'm actually planning to go to St. Charles to see my daughter and my son-in-law and my grandsons for Halloween. I'm going to watch the boys during the morning. I'm going to make some chili, I think, and then my daughter gets off work at 1. So I think I'm going to do this dark and then we'll come back and do a little darker. So I think that'll be a fun day. My husband's working that day, so he'll come up when he gets off work. Okay, so now I'm just going to bring in another little darker color. Oh, I really love this flower. I swear, if there's a stamp set that you haven't played with and then you then you decide to play with it, it's like, oh, just love it. Almost any stamp set that I touch, I want, right? So. Okay. Now I think I'm going to come back with the light and now I'm going to do some blending. Pull those colors together. And when this dries, when the alcohol actually evaporates and it dries, you're going to see how pretty it is. Okay, so I wanted to use garden green. We don't have garden green as in our blends selection, so I'm going to be using Mossy Meadow. So let's see how this goes. Just going to do Mossy Meadow on the leaves. And on these small leaves, I probably will just maybe leave them as is. On these bigger ones, I'll probably come back and do some dark Mossy Meadow to blend that. I kind of miss being at home for Halloween because, we would always answer the door and have kids come and, do you have a trick, blah, blah, blah. But now, I just go to St. Charles. Actually, Cottleville is where my daughter lives, so. Okay, looking good. Now I'm going to bring in just a tad, little tiny bit of dark Mossy Meadow. And these veins, it's hard to talk in color, so I think that looks good. I might do a little blending. Okay, so you can see now that alcohol evaporated with the pinks, how it dried. It looks completely different than when it's wet. Okay, I'm done. Isn't that so pretty? I think it looks so gorgeous. Okay, so there's a die for this, right? It cuts this out. So this die right here. And I like these little dots, okay? So if you see these little dots, that helps you line it up. So when you see these little black, the black stamped image showing through those dots, that's actually, I think that's designed to help you line it up. I might be wrong on that, but. Okay, so now I'm going to run this through the mini cut and emboss. Okay, so we don't have the, I wish we did, but we don't have the magnetic plate. So we're just going to pray that this goes through correctly. Oh, and it turned out nice. Okay, so look at that. That beats cutting it out. I actually like how it does that nice edging. Okay, so put this away, and there's another die that is the frame, and so there's 4 frames. So I cut this one out of crumb cake, and so this pops away. Okay, so I'm not going to use that at this time. I'm just going to use this, and I'm going to kind of distress it, and I'm going to use crumb cake ink with my blending brush, and I just want to distress it a little bit. Not a lot, just a little bit. Just the edges to kind of make it look more three-dimensional, I guess. Okay, looking good. Put it on the edges. So cute. Okay, done with that. Now, I'm going to use a couple embossing folders. I'm going to use Merry Melody from both of these are from the large catalog, the annual catalog. And so I'm going to use Merry Melody, and I'm also going to use Painted Texture. Okay, and these away before I lose them. Okay, so what I want to do is I took some of our snowy white cardstock and I ran it through snowy white, the Merry Melody. Okay, so this is 5.5 by 4 3/4, and you can't feel it, but it's like flocked. Okay, so it's kind of like a snowy feeling, and I love that. Okay, so I'm going to do that. And then first I'm going to just glue this down. And I think I'm going to use liquid glue. Just glue this down because everything's textured here, right? So the embossing folder's textured, the frame's textured. So liquid glue works the best. But remember, less is more. You don't want to go too crazy. Too crazy. Okay. I'm going to put this on. I'm going to use my silicone craft sheet to hold it down and hope nothing squeezes out. If it does, it won't squeeze onto my hand. Okay, that's good. Now I have that. Now I want to, there was one other thing I wanted to do. I wanted to put this underneath. Hang on a second. This is a piece of Gingham Cottage Designer Series paper. And I just want this behind. Okay. Hello, best laid plans. Forget what you're doing. Just try to fix it. I mean, I could have left it off, but I think it's going to add a little something to the card. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and put this back on where I had it. I don't want that to squeeze out. Okay, and I want it lined up where I had it before, so I don't want extra glue. Okay, now my pieces. I have this piece. I have this piece. And I have my sentiment. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop this up with dimensionals. So this was my little pot from Plentiful Plants. Okay, so I want that popped up. Sticking to my finger. In a second. There we go. Alrighty, so we're going to put this on next. And then we're going to pop this one up also. Ooh, lots of little dimensionals to take off. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6. Don't want it to go anywhere. Oh, I love it. Okay, and then my Celebrate, I don't think I'm going to pop that up. I think I'm just going to go straight down with it. Right there. So that frame really draws your eye, I think, right to the flowers. And I love, love, love those flowers. Okay, then as I mentioned, I was going to do 2 embossing folders. The other one is Painted Texture. And so this one is 5 by 3 3/4. This is just white cardstock. And so I'm just going to layer this on here like that. And since it's flocked, I'm going to, so the back really isn't flocked, actually. It's just the one side, but I'm going to use liquid glue just because. Ooh, and it's getting empty. I think it's empty. Let's get the other one. Okay. So I'm going to just layer that on that piece of textured, painted texture cardstock. So now you can kind of see the difference. So this is the flocked paper, and then that's just white cardstock. All right. I have another piece of white cardstock. We're calling layer, layer, layer. And this is 5.5 by 8.5. And I'm going to, I have some old dimensionals I'm going to use up. Don't throw these pieces away, guys. Use them up. Put those on. See, if I was using tiny ones, it'd take me forever, so I'm just using these up. Instead, this is a longer video than I planned, but I wanted to show you that the Fitting Florets, because it is going to be available to you guys on November 1st. So, and as demonstrators, we couldn't order more than one of the papers, the DSPs, so there should be some left for you guys. Okay, so I don't think it needs any bling. It's got a lot going on. I hope you enjoyed this card today, and I will see you on Tuesday. Have a great weekend, and happy stamping. Bye.